during that time, I sang at a lot of bars and clubs. I ran into people like Jay-Z, Mary J. Blige, Puffy.
Wow.
You know,
Wow,
in
wow.
fact, he tried to sign me to Bad Boy when it had barely first started. When Flavor in Your Ear and Craig Mack had come out, right when Biggie was barely starting to pop. But at that time, I'd started becoming managed by a guy named Donovan Thomas, who's still my manager after all this time, which is very rare in the music business.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Puffy wanted to sign me. Donovan didn't like Puffy. Puffy didn't like Donovan. They had a history. Puffy used to be a background dancer for a rapper named Dougie Fresh. Okay, and Donovan never liked him for whatever reason. Never told me. But once Puffy found out I was being managed by Donovan, he said, no, we're good. He didn't want to sign me. And then what's funny is after I sang Miss California and had locked down my deal with Warner Music Group and Rat Pack through Praz, we were celebrating at his restaurant, Justin's, which is now closed. It was in Lower Manhattan. And I was waiting in line to use the restroom. I needed to take a piss. And Puffy tapped me on the shoulder. And I turned around and he says, yo, Dante. I was like, what's up, Puff? Because I'd seen him through the years at different parties and stuff. And I was like, what's good? I said, last time I saw you was at that Christmas charity. And he's like, yeah, right. Like, he wasn't really listening to me. He had his own agenda. And he was like, you know, what do we got to do to bring you over to Bad Boy? I heard your new song, California Girl. And I corrected him. I said, no, it's Miss California. And he says, what do we got to do to bring you to Bad Boy? And I said, you got Donovan's number? And he said, no. And he said, well, here's my card. Give it to Donovan. And I said, okay. And I gave it to Donovan. And I went back to the table. Donovan was, he had a frontal leaf. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like, it's a tobacco leaf, natural tobacco leaf that Jamaicans used to roll their weed in.
I see.
And he was rolling a joint in the club. And we were sipping on a bottle of Moet. And I told him what happened. And he said, you know, there's dark things about that guy. There's dark things about that dude, but it's not your problem. We're not going to sign with Bad Boy. You've already signed with Warner. Let's not talk about him. Let's celebrate. You just got your deal. So we celebrated. We never talked about it again. And I didn't understand what he meant by there's things about that dude that are dark until years later when all this stuff about Puffy came out. So thank God I never signed with Bad Boy.